Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. Tuesday night. It's our advanced Bible study night. Topic in the class will be we be revisiting the book of Joshua, dealing with Joshua. Okay. I'm letting everybody know you can go to our YouTube channel, Prophets of Awakening, and check out our videos. We have a lot of information in the videos, and they will connect dots for you, lead you into the truth of the Holy Scriptures, the Old Testament, so-called Tanakh. If you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if you feel the need to support the channel, you see the Cash App at the bottom of the screen. This is a non-Messianic channel, and by that I mean Tanakh and the Torah. Tanakh is the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses by the Lord of Hosts. Shalom and welcome to Prophets of Awakening, and welcome to our advanced Bible study. We're going to do our normal, which is a moment of silence, a prayer. We're going to read the Psalms, deal with some current events, a little needed to know information, and then we'll go into some Q&A, and then we'll go into the topic, which is dealing with the book of Joshua. Okay? This moment of silence is for the Lord of Hosts and all that he's doing, along with our Creator, to bring about our prophesied exodus from this land, America. O Lord, righteousness and uprightness belongeth unto thee. Therefore we come before thee at this hour, seeking thy face and looking for righteousness and uprightness, that we may walk before thee as thy servants David, Solomon, Samuel, Hezekiah did, that we may walk before thee in truth and in righteousness and in rightness of heart. Give unto us, O Lord, an understanding heart, that we may discern between good and bad. For we know you possess the power to do so. For we desire to walk after thee, O Lord, and to keep your commandments with testimony, your statutes with all our heart and soul, and to perform the words of this covenant that was written down by your prophets. O Lord, allow thy face to shine upon thy people. Hear our plea, hear and do, O Lord. Hide not thy face from us any longer, for we need you so very much at this hour. Peace be unto you. Okay. So with that being said, I'll read the Psalms right quick. I'm going to read Psalm 71. It's a prayer for health in old age. In thee, O Lord, do I put my trust. Let me never be put to confusion. Deliver me in thy righteousness, and cause me to escape. Incline thine ear unto me, and save me. Be thou my strong habitation, whereunto I may continually resort. Thou hast given commandments to save me, for thou art my rock and my fortress. Deliver me, O my God, out of the hands of the wicked, out of the hands of the unrighteous and cruel man. For thou art my hope. O Lord God, thou art my trust from my youth. By thee have I been holden up from the womb. Thou art he that took me out of my mother's bowels. My praise shall be continuously of thee. I am a wanderer unto many, but thou art my strong refuge. Let my mouth be filled with the praise and with thy honor all the day. Cast me not off in the time of old age. Forsake me not when my strength faileth. For mine enemies speak against me, and they that lay wait for my soul take counsel together, saying, God hath forsaken him. Persecute and take him, for there is none to deliver him. O God, be not far from me. O my God, make haste for my help. Let them be confounded and consumed that are adversaries to my soul. Let them be covered with reproach and dishonor that seek my hurt. But I will hope continuously and will yet praise thee more and more. My mouth shall show forth thy righteousness and thy salvation all the day, for I know not the number thereof. I will go in the strength of the Lord God. I will make mention of thy righteousness, even of thine only. O God, thou hast taught me from my youth, and here too have I declared thy wondrous works. Now also, when I am old and gray-headed, O God, forsake me not, until I have showed thy strength unto this generation, and thy power to everyone that is to come. The righteousness also, O God, is very high. What has done who has done great things, O God, who is likened unto thee? Thou which hast showed me great and sore troubles, shall quicken me again, and shall bring me up again from the depths of the earth. Thou hast increased my greatness, and comforted me on every side. I will also praise thee with thy pastries, even thy truth, O my God. Unto thee will I sing with the harp, O thou Holy One of Israel. My lips shall greatly rejoice when I sing unto thee, and my soul which thou hast redeemed. My tongue also shall talk of thy righteousness all the day long, for thou art confounded. For they are confounded, for they are brought unto shame that seek my hurt. Okay. Any comments on that? Yeah, so I keep saying over and over again, we're not able to see this as long as you caught up with that ideology that's in the New Testament. But David tells us right here, this is a Psalm of David. Most of these Psalms in here is pertaining to David. But verse 20, David already knew this, so nobody had to die on the cross to him or none of that. It says 20, thou which have showed me, see that? Showed him through dreams. Thou hast showed me great and sore troubles. Shall quicken me, see that? Quicken me, and shall bring me up again from the depths of the earth, out of the grave. He already knew he was going to resurrect him. Okay? So let's look at that right quick and read it again. Thou which hast showed me great and sore troubles shall quicken me again. See that? And shall bring me up again from the depths of the earth. So what are you talking about? We go to Ezekiel 37. Okay, and it says right here. He says you're gonna bring me up from the depths of the earth. And then it tells you right here, it says in two different places. First of all, it's in Ezekiel 37, starting at verse 12. Therefore prophesy and say unto them, this he talking Ezekiel, thus says the Lord, behold, O my people, I will open up your graves, and I will cause you to come up out of your graves, and I will bring you again into the land of Israel. And ye shall know that I am the Lord when I have opened your graves, O my people, and have brought you up out of your graves, and shall put my spirit in you, and ye shall live, and I shall place you in your own land. Then shall ye know that I, the Lord, have spoken it, performed it, and said it. So whether we've been tricked off at, he says in 13, and ye shall know that I am the Lord when I have opened up your graves on my people and have brought you up out of your graves, and I shall put my spirit. See that spirit right there is soul. What David talking about. The soul. Soul don't die. So when man dies, the spirit that the Most High put in the body, ascend back to heaven where it came from. And then he told them, I'm gonna bring that spirit back from where when it went up to heaven, the chambers up there, bring it back, put it back in that same body. That's why when you go back to 37, verse 1, the hand of the Lord was upon me, carried me out in the spirit of the Lord, set me down in the midst of a valley which is full of bones, right? And caused me to pass by them round about. And behold, they were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord God, thou knowest. And again he said unto me, prophesy unto these bones. Say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. Thus says the Lord God unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. Then here you go. So the soul is up, the spirit of all our forefathers is up in heaven. And he said, I will lay sinew, this part of the bone, sinew upon you, and I will bring up the flesh. That's another part of the body upon you, cover you with skin. That's part of the body, and I will breathe into you, and ye shall live. And ye shall know that I'm the Lord. So you bring that body back from the earth. JC can't do that. Then he brings that spirit back in that same body. Notice how it says in 7. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and as and as I prophesied, there was a noise. Behold, it shaking. Bone came together, bone to its bone. So they all laying over there, but the bones got a certain place they go to where they came from. All of them go back where they came, to the skeleton they came from. Then he bring back the flesh and the sinew, everything that go with the body. Then he bring that spirit back into that same body. That's what he's saying. Then, like David just said in Psalms 70, he says in 24, and David, my servant, shall be king over them, and they shall all have one shepherd. And they shall also walk in my judgments, serve my statutes, and do them. And they shall dwell in the land that I have given unto Jacob, my servant, wherein your fathers dwell, and they shall dwell therein, even they, their children's children, forever. And my servant David shall be their prince forever. So that's why he's saying David. It ain't a typo. He ain't saying David and making a mistake and saying JC. He's saying David because that's what he told David. But David just reiterated and said that he's going to bring me up out of the grave. Let me read that. Psalm 70 and verse 20. Thou which hast showed me great and sore troubles shall quicken me again. See that? Quicken me again and shall bring me up again from the depths of the earth. Ezekiel 37. And another precept, let me get one more precept, because this big. Isaiah. All I'm talking about the same thing. So when we go to Isaiah, David just mentioned he's going to quicken him, right? So we go to Isaiah chapter 11. Say the same thing. Chapter 11, verse 1 of Isaiah. And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, that's David daddy. A branch shall go out of his roots, that's David. A spirit of God shall rest upon him. That's 7 spirits, angels of spirits. Spirit of God shall rest upon him, 1. The spirit of wisdom, 2. Understanding, 3. Spirit of counsel, 4. Might, 5. The spirit of knowledge, 6. And the fear of the Lord, 7. They go to 7 spirits of God. 3. And he shall make him of quick, just like David said. He shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of the Lord, and he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither shall he prove after the hearing of his ears, but with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with iniquity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he smite. This David. And then you say, what you talking about? Verse 10, same chapter. Isaiah 11 and 10. And in that day, in the last days, so you say there was a misprint over there. It's supposed to be Jesus over in Ezekiel 37, right? 10. In that day, there shall be a root out of Jesse. There you go again. Jesus ain't out of Jesse. He out of David. He's the son of David. So he says, in that day there shall be a root out of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign to the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. So ain't no typo. Jesse ain't got nothing to do with Jesus. David's father. Okay? So, with that being said, we do. Anybody got any comments? Okay, got the current events right here.
No matter what news you are receiving from me or you're receiving from other people, you're just receiving in your daily personal life. Rest assured that God has a plan for it all, but he wants you to also pray, plan, and prep. So these banks are still closing down. We have grocery stores, we have pharmacies as well that are closing. But right now, Berkshire Bank is closing 4 branches across Massachusetts. The bank notified the Massachusetts Division of Banks last month in June that it intends to close these branches across the state. This is including Pittsfield, Westboro, Otis, and Marlboro. I do not see a date as to when they are closing, but if they notify the Massachusetts Division of Banks last month being June, they have to give that 90-day notice. So 3 months from then is when? September. That's right. Banks are closing in September. I just told you about all of the Bank of Americas and Wells Fargo's and those banks that are closing all the way up until the end of the year, some of which are closing over 150 locations. So you guys stay aware of what is happening and pay attention to what's not being said in the news and act accordingly. So in the midst of all of these banks closing, grocery stores, pharmacies, etc., that I just told you about, Christmas tree shops are closing. Okay, I've seen this going around in my email, but I just have not done the story. So I'm just going to put the story in this closing right here for the banks. So the Christmas tree shops list of stores closing, available discounts when gift cards expire, because gift cards are expiring. This is in Massachusetts as well. A going out of business sale has officially commenced at all remaining Christmas tree shops stores located 2 months after the struggling home goods retailer filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. They have 70 stores, and I promise you, all 70 of those stores are closing. So they don't just sell Christmas trees and Christmas items. So if you are looking for sales, shoppers can take advantage of discounts up to 50% off the lowest ticketed price throughout the store. With all Christmas and other holiday items being 50% off the lowest ticketed price, in a statement, Hilco said, find big bargains on all your favorite things, from patio furniture, etc. And I'm not trying to do an advertisement for them, but I know that how much I saved when I went to a Walmart that was closing in Columbia, South Carolina, and we racked up on a lot of goods for a little bit of money. We were able to get camping items. We were able to get some food, not a lot, medications and things like that. So, the getting is good when you have it to get. And I know people's funds are tight, inflation is eating everybody alive, but if it's something that you know you're going to need come this holiday season, or you need for your home, the best time to get it is when it's 50% off, and maybe even 75% off down the road. So it also says that all sales are final during the store closing earlier this week. It was said that they defaulted on a loan that they got. It's why they are filing for bankruptcy. The Middleborough based retailer took out a $45 million bankruptcy loan, but creditors moved to terminate the loan after the company defaulted on the terms, in part due to worsening revenues. And that was said by the Wall Street Journal. In total, 70 of their existing stores will be closing nationwide, including locations across New England. So they have the actual stores listed here that will be closing, but it says stores in Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Indiana, Kentucky, Maryland, Michigan, North Carolina, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, and Virginia will also shutter when the liquidation ends. I didn't know they had one in South Carolina. I know there is a store that I go to that sells Christmas things, but I don't think that's the same store. At least I hope it's not, because I really love that store. So if you have a gift card to Christmas shops, you better act fast. On July 21st, the chain will cease selling and honoring them. Okay? If you have those gift cards, they will no longer be valid after July 21st. So apparently Bed Bath & Beyond owned and operated these same stores from 2003 to 2020 before selling all of their locations to the Middleborough-based Holdings, and now they're closing. So we don't have what Bed Bath & Beyond's, they're closing up too, if they haven't already closed up all of their shops. And I know the one here has closed, and now the ones that they sold to, they're closing. So y'all, times are hard. Times are hard. So I'm going to give you these locations, and y'all please share the video out so other people can get these same locations as well. I can remember, because this reminds me of what's happening right now, all these closings from banks, etc. Remember that viral video, "You gonna lose your job," where the girl was singing that to the police or whoever she was singing it to? Well, that it was funny and not funny. And right now, what is happening is not funny. People are losing their jobs. And while we can go in and try to find these sales and stuff, at the end of the day, they're going to be people who say, "What a sale means nothing to me because I can't pay my rent, and I can't pay my lights, and I can't pay my water, and I can't buy food for my family." Y'all, if you still have a job, if you're still working and making some money, please set some money aside if you can. Please set some food and medications aside if you can, because you don't know when that next job that's closing may be yours. And you can say, "Oh, well, we're busy at our job and this is not going to happen to us." Well, we don't know what people doing with their businesses behind the scenes. And we don't know when that next job is going to be. We don't know when that next closing is going to be. So preparing is not just for storms. Preparing is not just for pandemics that come through. Preparing is for everyday life, because everyday life situations happen each and every day. Last minute or even with notice, it still happens, and it's happening right now. Unemployment is going to be on a whole nother high, and they ain't gonna tell you about it. They're gonna tell you the numbers look fine because we have all these other jobs opening up, but they ain't telling you about what's closing. But I am right here on Tiger Bites TV. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please by all means hit that red button. Share.
Okay. Any comments on that? Okay. Got another one here.
Welcome to Asian Quick Take. I'm Jacob. Get ready for an in-depth analysis of the latest news and developments in global affairs, international relations, and technology. Following China's Ministry of Commerce and General Administration of Customs announcement on July 3rd, that export controls on gallium and germanium-related items will be implemented starting August 1st, the U.S. Department of Commerce issued a news release on July 5th expressing strong opposition to these export controls. The U.S. plans to consult with partners and allies to address the issue. The U.S. authorities are increasingly recognizing the imminent tightening of the supply chain for gallium and germanium minerals, and time is running out. While the U.S. often adopts double standards in global trade and economy, can it solve the supply problem of these two metals through its own efforts and the support of its allies? Data indicates that China holds the global leadership position in both gallium and germanium reserves and exports. China is the largest producer of gallium, accounting for over 95% of global production, and it also dominates global germanium production with over 67%. Gallium finds widespread use in radar systems, radio communication equipment, satellites, LEDs, semiconductors, transistors, and small electronic devices. Military-grade gallium nitride is used in advanced weapons technology produced by US-related companies. Germanium is used in high-speed computer chips, plastics, night vision equipment, and satellite image sensors. Its primary applications include rectifiers, transistors, and weapons targeting systems. It is predictable that if U.S. companies lose access to the supply chain of these two metals, industries such as electronic equipment, electric vehicles, and strategic commodities production will face supply shortages. These areas have been the strength of the U.S. industry for many years, and U.S. companies have profited by exporting related goods. However, while the US continues to impose restrictions on other markets, it overlooks the fact that its advantageous industries are not self-sufficient in terms of necessary production means. This undermines the principles of economic globalization and is essentially self-destructive. The export control of gallium and germanium may just be the beginning of a wake-up call for the US economy regarding the vulnerability of its production means.
Marcela lives in Brazil. Thanks to your online.
The US is likely to face further critical resource and supply chain shortages. According to US media reports, China not only dominates gallium and germanium production, but also controls the production and processing of 20 other key raw materials. As a result, US media has expressed concerns that the US may face supply constraints for other crucial materials in addition to gallium and germanium. Of particular concern for the US economy is China's control over the processing and refining of rare earth metals, where about 85 to 95% of global production and supply is in the hands of Chinese companies. Approximately 80% of the US's rare earth supply comes from China. Rare earths, composed of 17 elements, have become essential for the production of electric cars, wind turbines, solar panels, and advanced defense weapons. Clearly, any disruption in rare earth supplies would have a much broader impact on US strategic industries. Additionally, 2 US companies involved in the production of related commodities have been added to the unreliable entity list, making it more difficult for US companies to obtain resources such as rare earths. The US may no longer be able to rely solely on the arms trade for profits, and may face an end to a century-long situation that has persisted since World War I. Even in the field of smart manufacturing, rare earth elements are crucial for functions such as speakers, cameras, and cell phone vibration. This highlights the US economy's continuous undermining of globalization while also impacting US tech giants.
Okay, any comments on that? Not looking good. Okay, that's some need to know information right here, and then we'll open up for some questions, comments.
The stage is set for a momentous event as world leaders, policymakers, and diplomats gear up for the upcoming
Secret 38.
BRICS Summit. This highly anticipated gathering, scheduled to take place in South Africa, is poised to redefine international relations and shape the global economic landscape. With the theme of Africa Rising, the summit aims to highlight the continent's immense potential and address pressing challenges while fostering stronger ties among BRICS nations. President Cyril Ramaphosa, the host of the summit, has been vocal about the need for unity and solidarity in Africa. In a recent speech at the BOMA 2023 Africa Conference, Ramaphosa emphasized the importance of African countries looking internally for development prospects. His inspiring words struck a chord with leaders across the continent who found solace in his message of self-reliance and self-determination. The summit provides a platform for African nations to showcase their strengths, exchange ideas, and forge mutually beneficial partnerships. But what led Ramaphosa to emphasize internal development? The answer lies in the exposure of American hypocrisy. As South Africa's president, Ramaphosa has firsthand experience of the challenges faced by African nations in dealing with Western powers. In an unexpected turn of events, the United States, France, and China recently backed India's bid for African Union membership, leaving African countries questioning the motives behind this sudden interest. Ramaphosa, ever the astute diplomat, seized the opportunity to shed light on the continent's struggles and expose the double standards employed by these global powerhouses. Ramaphosa's plea for African countries to focus on inter-African trade and cooperation resonated strongly with members of the Southern African Customs Union, SACU. In a meeting with SACI members, he urged them to increase trade within the continent, stressing the potential for economic growth and job creation. This approach marks a departure from the traditional reliance on foreign aid and external markets, presenting African nations with a pathway to self-sufficiency and sustainable development. The implications of this shift in mindset are far-reaching. Renowned political commentator R.D. Johnson delves into the fragile power between Ramaphosa and Russian President Vladimir Putin, shedding light on the complexities of their relationship. Despite the controversy surrounding Putin's attendance at the summit and a warrant issued for his arrest, Ramaphosa remains unfazed. He files a confidential affidavit, asserting his commitment to addressing the matter at the right time. The summit is set to be physical, reaffirming the importance of face-to-face diplomacy and the resolve of BRICS nations to chart their own course. As tensions escalate between Russia and Ukraine, the world holds its breath, wondering how this conflict will impact the BRICS summit. The Moscow Times provides real-time updates, giving us a glimpse into the evolving situation. Will this geopolitical crisis overshadow the aspirations of the summit or present an opportunity for BRICS nations to assert their influence on the global stage? The inquisitive minds of diplomats and observers alike ponder the possible outcomes. While the world grapples with war and geopolitical uncertainties, it is essential to remember the importance of commemoration and remembrance. As Bosnia pays tribute to the victims of the Srebrenica genocide, it serves as a stark reminder of the consequences of division and intolerance. The BRICS summit offers an opportunity for nations to come together, bridge differences, and foster cooperation, ensuring that such atrocities never happen again.
Okay.
It's a fact. In the new
Amidst the chaos and uncertainties, African leaders strive to make their voices heard. President Ramaphosa's confidential affidavit ahead of Putin's anticipated attendance at the summit demonstrates the resolve to hold accountable those responsible for destabilizing world affairs. Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula assures the public that the matter will be addressed at the right time, leaving us wondering about the implications of this high-stakes encounter. The BRICS summit extends its influence beyond the African continent. Brazil's former president Lula engages in discussions with Ramaphosa on the Ukraine conflict, highlighting the interconnectedness of global issues. As pushback against the US dollar grows, the spotlight shines on the potential of a BRICS currency. With 41 countries ready to accept it a month before the summit, the stage is set for a potential paradigm shift in the global financial landscape. As the summit draws near, BRICS Sherpas express confidence in their criteria for admitting new members. The aspirations of Bangladesh Prime Minister Hasina to attend the summit add to the growing list of countries eager to join the BRICS family. The expansion of this influential alliance raises questions about its future trajectory and impact on global governance. With the world's attention turning towards the upcoming BRICS summit, South Africa stands at a critical juncture. Can it win back friends and influence people in the international arena? This question looms large as the country navigates its role as the host of this historic event. The eyes of the world are on Ramaphosa and his leadership, as he aims to prove the strength of BRICS and foster partnerships that will shape the future. President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa has emerged as a prominent figure in challenging the United States and the Western world on various fronts. Through his actions and statements, he has sought to expose and confront the hypocrisy and double standards employed by Western powers, while advocating for a more equitable and balanced global order. Here, we delve into some instances where Ramaphosa has taken a stand against the US and the Western world. One of the significant moments highlighting Ramaphosa's challenges to the Western world was when the United States, France, and China backed India's bid for African Union membership. This unexpected move left African nations questioning the motivations behind this sudden interest and the implications it would have for the continent. Ramaphosa seized the opportunity to shed light on Africa's struggles and expose the double standards employed by these global powerhouses. By doing so, he highlighted the need for fair and equal treatment of African nations, and called for a more balanced and inclusive approach in international affairs. In his speeches and addresses, Ramaphosa has repeatedly emphasized the importance of African countries looking internally for development prospects. He has encouraged African nations to focus on inter-African trade and cooperation rather than relying solely on foreign aid and external markets.
Okay, so anybody familiar with this guy Ramaphosa? Know who he is? Nobody know that he's just president of South Africa. So this BRICS summit that's coming up in August, this dude right here gonna be the man, black dude. So keep your eyes on that. He talking. You got these China and Russia behind him, and he talking down to the West. So keep your eyes on that. And they expecting the drama to go down with Putin at the summit because they got a warrant out for Putin. Okay, so no comments on that. Okay, we're gonna go to some Q&A. Anybody have any questions, comments about anything that they came across in their research or they heard on the channel? You want to talk about it? Okay, everybody good? Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
right, so I'm in the book of Jasher. I thought this was dive into that. This got to do with some more in-depth information on Joshua, and how all that played out. Okay, so I'm starting in 83, Joshua, chapter 83. Thought this is pretty interesting. Okay, let me get it. Okay, so it says Joshua, chapter 83, verse 1. And in the 12th month, the 23rd day of the month, Moses took Aaron and his sons and and he dressed them in their garments. So what's going on right here is this the first time they you know he showed them they built all the furniture, all the stuff they needed, the tabernacle in the wilderness, which was a tent. They prepared all that. This their first they gonna erect it. This their first time going in. So it says in the 12th month, in the 23rd day of the month, Moses took Aaron and his sons and he dressed them in their garments and he anointed them and he did unto them as the Lord had commanded him. And Moses brought up all the articles, all the offerings which the Lord had on that day commanded him. So let me deal with this right quick because I go here all the time. I don't know if that's registering with a lot of people or not. So show you these suffering servant is right here. So it says in the 12th month, in the 23rd day of the month, this Jasher 83 and 1. In the 12th month, in the 23rd day of the month, Moses took Aaron and his sons, right? And he dressed them in their garments and anointed them, right? So let's look at that. Let's go to King James. Like I said, if you want to know who the suffering servant is in Isaiah 53, look at the last three verses in 52. So I'm in Isaiah 52, 13, 14, and 15. Let's look at it right quick. So this is what happened right here. The first time they went to make the offerings after they had built the tabernacle. So right here, we're looking for the suffering servant. Behold, my servant shall deal prudently. He shall be exalted and extolled and be very high. Now here goes 14. As many were astonished at thee, his vestige. What vestige? What Moses just put on Levi. See that? Astonished that his vestige was so marred, more than any man, and his form more than the sons. See that? With an S on it, of men. So shall he sprinkle. That's what that's what the Levites do. So shall he sprinkle many nations. Kings shall shut their mouths at him, for that which he had not been told them shall they see, and that which they had not heard shall they consider. So that's what they're getting ready to see. him raising up the Levites, and so forth. The garments, you know, their garments been mutilated. All of a sudden, you're gonna see these same people that you've been dogging out. They're the ones gonna be standing there. The arm of the Lord. So we see like here, like I said, we saw what Moses did. First time they made the offering, Moses told them, "Go ahead and put on those your garments that he had them make." That's what the vestige is. So, like I said, you're looking for the suffering servant in Isaiah 53, last 3 verses of 52, tell you who it is. So it says back in Joshua 83, verse 2, Moses afterwards took Aaron and his sons, and he said to them, "For 7 days shall you remain at the door of the tabernacle, for thus I am commanded." And Aaron and his sons did that the Lord had commanded them through Moses, and they remained for 7 days at the door of the tabernacle. And on the 8th day, being the first day of the first month in the 2nd year from the Israelites' departure from Egypt, Moses erected the sanctuary. Like this is the first time. And Moses put up all the furniture of the tabernacle and all the furniture of the sanctuary, and he did all that the Lord had commanded him. Right? So it says, Moses called to Aaron and his sons, and they brought the burnt offering and the sin offering for themselves and the children of Israel, as the Lord had commanded Moses. On that day, 2 sons of Aaron, Nebab and Abihu, took strange fire and brought it before the Lord, who had commanded them. And the fire went forth from before the Lord, consumed them, and they died before the Lord on that day. So we see right here, like I was telling you, he right there. Let's read that again, verse 6. On that day, the 2 sons of Aaron, Nebab and Abihu, took strange fire and brought it before the Lord. So he's standing right there. They brought this unauthorized fire before the Lord, who had not commanded them, and the fire went forth from him, from the Lord, before the Lord, and consumed them. And they died before the Lord on that day. So that's what this is one of the examples right here. They got you thinking some more stuff gonna happen in the last days, but this is what kind of stuff gonna be happening right here. That was happening before. It's nothing new under the sun. It says, then on that day, when Moses had completed erecting the sanctuary, the princes of the children of Israel began to bring their offering before the Lord for the dedication of the altar. So let's look at this right quick. So it says, then the day when Moses had completed to erect the sanctuary, the princes of Israel. So who is the princes of Israel? You got the 12 sons, right? Each one of them got a firstborn son. That's the princes. It's the prince in each tribe. Each one of them boys that Jacob had is a prince. Then they had a son. The firstborn is a prince. And so it goes on down like that, all the way to the day when he ran them out with Antioch Epiphanes. So that's 12 princes right there. So it says, and then you got to include the princes. David got the prince. Aaron got princes. So when we saw when Zedekiah burned the scroll in the temple, when Jeremiah sent it to him by Barak, that's the princes. That they're always at the gate. All these princes. Okay, and that's who Nebuchadnezzar took to Babylon. So anyway, it says, being on that 8, and they brought up their offerings, each prince for 1 day, and a prince each day for 12 days. See that's 12 sons, that's 12 princes of Israel. Say, and all the offerings which they brought, each man in his day, 1 silver charger weighing 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, but of them full of fine flour mingled with oil for a meat offering. 1 spoon weighing 10 shekels of gold full of incense, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year, for a burnt offering, one ram, one kid of the goat for a sin offering, and for a sacrifice of peace offering, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he goats, 5 lambs of 1 year old. So we see right here, these 12 princes, I was showing you how these clean animals, they collected at the hill, these clean animals. You don't see that around us now. You took it away from us. That's our predicament. So when we go before the Lord, this is what we got to have with us. So it says, thus did the 12 princes of Israel day by day, each man his day. And it was after this, in the 13th day of the month, that Moses commanded the children of Israel to observe the Passover. And the children of Israel kept the Passover in the season in the 14th day of the month, as the Lord had commanded Moses. So did the children of Israel, right? So back to what I was just saying. So this right here, we shine a serious light on trying to understand the man, the woman role, and all that in Israel. So right here, the man ain't got all this. See what I'm saying? He don't have all this to go before the Lord. Then he in a pickle. This is his house. So he got to have all this here. You know what I'm saying? He begin trying to deal with the Most High. See that? So 18, the number of the heads of all the males of the children of Israel from 7 years old and upward, thou and thy brother Aaron and the 12 princes of Israel. And Moses did so, and Aaron came with the 12 princes of Israel, and they numbered the children of Israel in the wilderness of Sinai, and the number of the children of Israel by their houses of their fathers. See that? By the houses of their fathers, from 20 years old and upward, was 603,550. But the children of the Levites were not numbered. They go to 7 again. And the children of Israel, the children of the Levites were not numbered among their brethren, children of Israel. This is 7 right there. And the number of all the males of the children of Israel from 1 month old and upward was 22,273. And the number of the children of Levites from 1 year old and above was 22,000. And Moses placed the priests, see that? And the Levites, each man in his service, and to his burden, they go to 7, to his burden to serve in the sanctuary of the tabernacle as the Lord had commanded Moses. And on the 20th day of the month, the cloud was taken away from the tabernacle of testimony. And at that time, the children of Israel continued their journey from the wilderness of Sinai. And they took a journey 3 days. And the cloud rested upon the wilderness of Paran. There the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, for they had provoked the Lord and asked him for meat that they might eat, right? And the Lord hearkened to the voice and gave them meat, which they ate for 1 month. But after this, the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he smote them with a great slaughter, and they were buried there in that place. And the children of Israel called that place Kibroth Hattaavah, because there they buried the people that lusted flesh. And they departed from Kibroth Hattaavah and pitched in Hazorah, which is in the wilderness of Paran. And while the children of Israel went Hazorah, the anger of the Lord was kindled against Miriam on account of Moses, and she became leprous, white as snow. And she was confined without the camp for 7 days, and she had been received again after her leprosy. And the children of Israel afterwards departed from Hazorah and pitched in the end of the wilderness of Paran. At that time, the Lord spake to Moses and sent 12 men from the children of Israel, 1 man to a tribe, to go to explore the land of Canaan. And Moses sent the 12 men, and they came to the land of Canaan to serve and examine it, to search and examine it. And they explored the whole land from the wilderness of Sin to Rechab, and thou cometh to Chemoth. And at the end of 40 days, they came to Moses and Aaron, and they brought him word as was in their hearts. And 10 of the men brought up an evil report to the children of Israel of the land which they had explored, saying, "It is better for us to return to Egypt than to go to this land, a land consumed, the land that consumes its inhabitants." But Joshua, the son of Nun, and Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, who were of those that explored the land, said, "The land is exceedingly good. If the Lord delight in us, then he will bring us to this land and give it to us, for it is a land flowing with milk and honey." But the children of Israel would not hearken unto them, and they hearkened to the words of the 10 men who had brought up an evil report of the land. And the Lord heard the murmuring of the children of Israel, and he was angry and swore, saying, "Surely not one man of this wicked generation shall see the land from 20 years old and upward, excepting Caleb and son of Jephunneh and Joshua the son of Nun. But surely this wicked generation shall perish in this wilderness, and their children shall come to the land, and they shall possess it." So the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he made them wander in the wilderness for 40 years until the end of the wicked generation, because they did not follow the Lord. So we see right here, Moses wasn't able to go into the land, but we never focus on the fact that these people weren't able to go in there either. It was the children that went in. So this generation of adults didn't go into the land, just like Moses didn't go. Okay? Then 43 says, "And the people dwelt in the wilderness of Paran a long time, and they afterwards proceeded to the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea." Okay, so 84. Comments. Okay, chapter 84. This is Joshua 84. At that time, Kerach, the son of Jezer, or the son of Kehath, son of Levi, took many men of the children of Israel, and they rose up and quarreled with Moses and Aaron and the whole congregation. So these Levites, they quarreled with Moses and Aaron, and the Lord was angry with them, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them up with their houses, all belonging to them, and all the men belonged to Kerah. See that? So we don't have nothing to worry about. Come on. So he says, "And after this, God made the people go round by the way of Mount Seir for a long time. At that time, the Lord said unto Moses, Provoke not the war against the children of Esau, for I will not give you anything belonging to them, as much as the sole of their foot uh, could tread upon, for I have given Mount Seir for an inheritance to Israel, to Esau. Therefore did the children of Esau fight against the children of Seir in the former times, and the Lord had delivered the children of Seir unto the hands of the children of Esau, and destroyed them from before them. And the children of Esau dwelt in their stead unto this day. Therefore the Lord said unto the children of Israel, Fight not against the children of Esau your brethren, for nothing in their land belongs to you. But you may buy food of them for money and eat it, and you may buy water of them for money and drink it. And the children of Israel did according to the word of the Lord. And the children of Israel went about the wilderness, going round about the way of Mount Sinai for a long time, and touched not the children of Esau. And they continued in that district for 19 years. At that time died Linus, king of the children of Checham, in the 45th year of his reign, which is the 14th year of the children of Israel's departure from Egypt. And they buried him in the place which he had built for himself in the land of Checham. And Abanus reigned in his place for 30 years. And the children of Israel passed the boundaries of the children of Esau in those days at the end of 19 years, and they came and passed the road of the wilderness of Moab. And the Lord said to Moses, Besiege not Moab, do not fight against them, for I will give you nothing of their land. And the children of Israel passed the road of the wilderness of Moab for 14 years, and they for 19 years, and they did not fight against them. And in the 36th year of the children of Israel departing from Egypt, the Lord smote the heart of Sihon, king of the Amorites, And he waged war and went forth to fight against the children of Moab. And Shinar sent messengers to Beor, the son of Janus, and the son of Balaam, counselor of the king of Egypt. And Balaam, his son, cursed Moab in order that it might be delivered into the hands of Shihon. And the messenger went and brought Beor, the son of Janus, and Balaam, his son, from Pethor in Mesopotamia. So Beor and Balaam, his sons, came to the city of Shinar, and they cursed Moab and their king in the presence of Shion, king of the Amorites. So Shion went out with his whole army and went to Moab and fought against them, and he subdued them, and the Lord delivered them into his hand. And Shion slew the king of Moab. And Shion took all the cities of Moab in the battle. He also took Heshbon from them, for Heshbon was one of the cities of Moab. And Shion placed his princes and his nobles in Heshbon, and Heshbon belonged to Shion in those days. Therefore, the parable speakers, Beor and Balaam, his sons, uttered these words, saying, "Come unto Heshbon, the city of Shion will be built and established. Woe unto thee, Moab, thou art lost, O people of Chemosh. Behold, it is written upon the book of the law of God." And when Shion had conquered Moab, he placed guards in the cities which he had taken from Moab, and a considerable number of the children of Moab fell in the battle. Okay, into the land of Shion, and he made a great capture of them, sons and daughters, and he slew their king. So Shion turned back to his own land. Shion gave numerous presents of silver and gold to Beor and Balaam, his sons, and he dismissed them, and they went to Mesopotamia to their home and country. And at that time, all the children of Israel passed from the road of the wilderness of Moab and returned and surrounded the wilderness of Edom. So the whole congregation came to the wilderness of Sin in the first month of the 40th year from the departure from Egypt. And the children of Israel dwelt there in Kadesh, or the wilderness of Sin, and Miriam died there, and she was buried there. At that time, Moses sent messengers to Hadad, king of Edom, saying, "Thus says thy brother Israel, let me pass, I pray thee, through thy land. We will not pass through fields or vineyards. We will not drink the water of the well. We will not walk in the king's road." And Edom said to him, "Thou shalt not pass through my country." And Edom went forth to meet the children of Israel with a mighty people. And the children of Esau refused to let the children of Israel pass through their land. So the Israelites removed from them and fought not against them. For before this, the Lord had commanded the children of Israel, saying, "Ye shall not fight against the children of Esau." Therefore the Israelites removed from them and did not fight against them. So the children of Esau departed from Kadesh, and all the people came to Mount Hor. At this time the Lord said to Moses, "Tell thy brother Aaron that he shall die there, for he shall not come to the land which I give him to the children of Israel." And Aaron went up at the command of the Lord to Mount Hor in the 40th year, in the 5th month, in the first day of the month. And Aaron was 123 years old when he died at Mount Hor. Okay, so that's verse 80, chapter 84. I'm going to read 85, Joshua 85. And King Arad, this is where it get interesting. Okay, King Arad of the Canaanites, who dwelt in the south, heard the Israelites that come by the way of the spies, and he arranged his forces to fight against the Israelites. And the children of Israel were greatly afraid of him, and he had a great and heavy army. So the children of Israel resolved to return to Egypt. And the children of Israel turned back about the distance of 3 days' journey unto Mazrah Benai Jekakum, I can't say that word, for they were greatly afraid on account of the king. So we see right here, after all they saw the Lord of hosts do in Egypt, they didn't have no reason to be afraid, but they're afraid. Like I said, my point is to keep on reiterating who the suffering servant is. So they're afraid. They're running from these people. So verse 4. So the children of Israel were not go back to their places. So they remained in Ben Jacob for 30 days, right? Then here we go, 5. And when the children of Levi, here we go, the children of Levi saw that the children of Israel would not turn back, they were jealous for the sake of the Lord. Why? Because they were servant. And they rose up and fought against the Israelites, their brethren, and slew of them. It's the arm of the Lord. Slew of them a great body and forced them to turn back to their place at Mount Hor. This ain't in the King James. See that? So these Levites forced them to fight and go back and fight. So it says, remember what we read in Ezra, he called the Levites out and they caused the people to understand the word. So it says, when they returned, King Arad was still arranging his host for battle against the Israelites, and Israel vowed a vow. Check it out. Israel, see that? Isaiah 53, him. So he says Israel. Jacob's name was changed to Israel, but he's talking about all the 12 tribes. Israel vowed a vow. The nation of Israel vowed a vow, saying, if thou wilt deliver this people into my hands, to that singular, then I will utterly destroy their cities. Okay, so let's keep going. 8. And the Lord hearkened to the voice of Israel. See that? Nation of Israel. And he delivered the Canaanites into their hands, and he utterly destroyed them and their cities, and he called the name of the place Hormah. Now here we go, 9. And the children of Israel journeyed from Mount Horeb and pitched in Obath, and they journeyed from Obath, and they pitched in, I'm butchering these names, Ajah, Abram, in the borders of Moab. And the children of Israel sent to Moab, saying, let us pass now through thy land into our place. But the children of Moab would not suffer the children of Israel to pass through their land. For the children of Moab were greatly afraid lest the children of Israel should do unto them as Sihon, king of Amorites, had done to them, who had taken their land and had slain many of them. Therefore, Moab would not suffer the Israelites to pass through his land, and the Lord commanded the children of Israel, saying that they should not fight against Moab. So the Israelites removed from Moab, and the children of Israel journeyed from the borders of Moab, and they came to the other side of Arnon, the border of Moab, between Moab and the Amorites, and they pitched in the border of Sihon, king of the Amorites, in the wilderness of Kedemoth. And the children of Israel sent messengers to Sihon, king of the Amorites, saying, let us pass through thy land. We will not turn into the fields or into the vineyards. We will go along by the king's highway until we shall pass by thy brother. But Sihon would not suffer the Israelites to pass. So Sihon collected all the people of the Amorites and went forth into the wilderness to meet the children of Israel, and he fought against Israel at Jahaz. And the Lord delivered Sihon, king of the Amorites, into the hands of the children of Israel. Israel smote all the people of Sihon with the edge of the sword and avenged the cause of Moab. And the children of Israel took possession of the land of Sihon from Aram unto Jabba unto the children of Ammon, and they took all the spoils of the cities. And Israel took all their cities, and Israel dwelled in the cities of the Amorites. And all the children of Israel resolved to fight against the children of Ammon to take their land also. So the Lord said to the children of Israel, do not deceive the children of Ammon, neither stir up battle against them, for I will give nothing to you of their land. And the children of Israel hearkened to the words of the Lord, did not fight against the children of Ammon. And the children of Israel turned and went up by the way of Bashan to the land of Og, king of Bashan. And Og, king of Bashan, went up to meet the Israelites in battle. And he had with him many valiant men and very strong force from the people of the Amorites. And Og, king of Bashan, was a very powerful man, but Naaron, his son, was exceedingly powerful, even stronger than he was. And Og said in his heart, behold, now the whole camp of the Israel takes up a space of 3 parcels. Now I will smite them at once without sword or spear. And Og went up to Mount Jahaz and took therefrom a large stone, the length of which was 3 parsecs, and right, okay, and he placed it on his head and resolved to throw it upon the camp of Israel, so smite all the Israelites that with that stone. And the angel of the Lord came and pierced the stone upon the head of Og, and the stone fell upon the neck of Og, that Og fell to the earth on account of the weight of the stone upon his neck. At that time the Lord said to the children of Israel, be not afraid of him, for I have given him and his people and all his land into your hands, and ye shall do to him as ye did to Sihon. Moses went down to him with a small number of children of Israel, and Moses smote Og with a stick at the ankles of his feet and slew him. And the children of Israel afterwards pursued the children of Og and all his people, and they beat and destroyed them till there was no remnant left of them. Moses afterwards sent some of the children of Israel to spy out Jazer, and Jazer was a very famous city. And the spies went to Jazer and explored it, and the spies trusted in the Lord, and they fought against the men of Jazer. And these men took Jazer and its villages, and the Lord delivered them into their hands, and they drove out the Amorites who had been there. And the children of Israel took the land of 2 kings of the Amorites, 60 cities, which were on the other side of Jordan, from the brook of Arnon until Mount Hermon. And the children of Israel journeyed and came into the plains of Moab, which is on this side of Jordan, or by Jericho. And the children of Moab heard all the evil that the children of Israel had done to the 2 kings of the Amorites, so Sihon and Og. So all the men of Moab were greatly afraid of the Israelites. And the elders of Moab said, behold, the 2 kings of the Amorites, Sihon and Og, who were more powerful than all the kings of the earth, could not stand against the children of Israel. How then can we stand before them? Surely they sent us a message before now to pass through our land on this way, and we would not suffer them. Now they will turn upon us with their heavy swords and destroy us. And Moab was distressed on account of the children of Israel, and they were greatly afraid of them. And they counseled together what was to be done to the children of Israel. And the elders of the Moab resolved and took one of their men, Balak, son of Zippor of the Moabites, and made him king over them at that time. And Balak was a very wise man. And the elders of Moab rose up and sent to the children of Midian to make peace with them, for a great battle and enmity had been in those days between Moab and Midian, from the days of Hadad, son of Bedad, king of Edom, who smote Midian in the fields of Moab until these days. And the children of Moab, okay, come on. Come on now. So, and the children of Moab sent to the children of Midian, and they made peace with them. And the elders of Midian came to the land of Moab to make peace in behalf of the children of Midian. And the elders of Moab counseled with the elders of Midian what to do in order to save their lives from Israel. All the children of Moab said to the elders of Midian, now therefore the children of Israel lick up all that are round about us, as the ox licks up the grass of the field. For thus did they do to the 2 kings of the Amorites, who are stronger than we are. Okay. And the elders of Midian said unto Moab, we have heard that at this time when Sihon, king of the Amorites, fought against you, you prevailed over you and took your land. He has sent a Beor, the son of Janus, and Balaam, his son, from Mesopotamia, and they came and cursed you. Therefore did the hand of Sihon prevail over you, that he took your land. Now therefore send you also to Balaam his son, for he still remains in his land, and give him his hire, that he could come and curse all the people of whom you are afraid. So the elders of Moab heard this thing, and it pleased them to send Balaam the son of Peor, and Balak, son of Zippor, king of Moab, sent messages to Balaam, saying, Behold, there is a people come out of Egypt. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against me. Now therefore come and curse this people for me, for they are too mighty for me. Peradventure I shall prevail to fight against them and drive them out. For I heard that that he who had blessed is blessed, and he who curses is cursed. So the messenger of Balak went to Balaam, brought Balaam to curse the people to fight against Moab. And Balaam came to Balak and cursed Israel. And the Lord said to Balaam, Curse not this people, for it is blessed. And Balak urged Balaam day by day, curse Israel. Balaam hearkened not to Balak on account of the words of the Lord which he had spoken to Balaam. And when Balak saw that Balaam would not accede to his wish, he rose up and went home. And Balaam also returned to his land and went from there to Midian. And the children of Israel journeyed from the plains of Moab, pitched by the Jordan from Beth Jessamah even to the Abel Shittim at the end of the plains of Moab. And when the children of Israel abode in the plains of Shittim, they began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab. And the children of Israel approached Moab, and the children of Moab pitched their tents opposite the camp of the children of Israel. And the children of Moab were afraid of the children of Israel. And the children of Moab took all their daughters and their wives of beautiful aspect and comely appearance, and dressed them in gold and silver and costly garments. And the children of Moab seated those women at the doors of their tents, in order that the children of Israel might see them and turn to them and not fight against Moab. And all the children of Moab did this thing to the children of Israel. On every man placed his wife and daughter at the door of his tent. And all the children of Israel saw the act of the children of Moab. And the children of Israel turned to the daughters of Moab and covered them. And they went to them. And it came to pass that when a Hebrew came to the door of the tent of Moab and saw a daughter of Moab and desired her in his heart, and spake with her at the door of the tent that which he desired, while they were speaking together, the men of the tent would come out and speak to the Hebrew like unto these words. Surely you know that we are brethren, and we are all descendants of Lot, and of descendants of Abraham his brother. Wherefore then will you not remain with us, and wherefore will you not eat our bread and our sacrifice? And when the children of Moab had thus overwhelmed him with their speeches and enticed him by their flattering words, they seated him in the tent and cooked and sacrificed for him, and he ate the sacrifice of their bread. And they then gave him wine, and he drank and became intoxicated. And they placed before him the beautiful damsel, and he did with her as he liked. And he knew not what he was doing, as he had drunk plentifully of wine. Thus did the children of Moab to. Was that?
Let's break that down then. Let's go in on that.
What you got?
I don't know if anybody's really listening. How many of us can relate to that today?
Okay.
I mean,
Sound
yeah,
like
people that's
nothing new under the
listening.
sun.
Huh? Say
Ain't
again?
nothing new under the sun. Ain't nothing new under the sun. It's the same thing happening now.
Same thing happening now. So now this whole woke community, this whole woke culture, this whole we all the same, this whole we one blood, it's the same thing going on today that they've been confusing us with.
Exactly.
And it's never for our gain. It's always for their gain. So whether it's what's the laws that they put in place, and then everybody else seems to civil rights, and then everybody else seems to gravitate to civil rights, and then our civil rights is once again moved to the backdrop. It's the
Right.
same thing. It's always for their goal. There's nothing new under the sun. I don't know how many people is catching this. How many of y'all are seeing, yo, it was written, the program been written. Them people are following it to a T. We stay ignorant to it. And they use it on us time and time again, over and over again. So we see it used, oh, we're the children of Lot. And we all was connected to Abraham. So there goes deploy. That's the immediate hook.
Right.
So now once they hook you, what happens now? So every time one of our brothers become filthy, who's on their shoulder? So,
Right.
you know, Balaam knew what he was doing. Balaam knew what he was doing for Balak. He knew it. He didn't want to. God told him he couldn't, but he still knew how to cause us to. Yeah, you probably gonna get there, so I'm probably jumping. Sorry. Go ahead, brother.
Right. So in 61, to the children of Moab, thus did the children of Moab to the Israel in that place, in the plains of Shechem. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel on account of this matter. And he sent a pestilence among them. And there died of the Israelites 24,000 men. Now, there was a man of the children of Simeon whose name was Zemiah, the son of Shilu, who connected himself with the Midianite Cosby, the daughter of Zor, king of Midian, in sight of all the children of Israel. And Phinehas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron, the priest, there they go again, saw this wicked thing which Zimah had done, and he took a spear and rose up and went after them and pierced them both and slew them. And the pestilence ceased from the children of Israel. Okay? So we see right here, this guy broke it. They was in a spell. They was spellbound until he gave him a friendly reminder when he ran the spear through this Israelite man and this Moabite woman, and stayed the curse.
The play.
Right. Any comments on that? Okay, I got one more chapter I want to read because it's 86. At that time, after the pestilence, so it's after Phinehas broke the pestilence. At that time, after the pestilence, the Lord said to Moses and Eleazar the son of Aaron the priest, saying, number the heads of the whole community of the children of Israel, from 20 years old and upward, all that went forth in the army. And Moses and Eleazar numbered the children of Israel after their families, and the number of all of Israel was 700,730. And the number of Levites from 1 month old and upward were 23,000, and among these were not a man of those numbered by Moses and Aaron in the wilderness of Sinai. And the Lord had told them that they would die in the wilderness. So they all died, and not one had been left of them except Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, son of Nun. Okay, son of Nun. Let me see. And it was after this that the Lord said to Moses, say unto the children of Israel to avenge upon Midian the cause of their brethren, the children of Israel. And Moses did so. And the children of Israel chose from amongst them 12,000 men, being or 1,000 to a tribe, and they went to Midian. And the children of Israel warred with Midian, and they slew every male, also the 5 princes of Midian. And Balaam the son of Peor did they slay with the sword. And the children of Israel took the wives of Midian captive, and their little ones, and their cattle, and all belonged to them. And they took all the spoils and the prey, and all the prey, and they brought it to Moses and to Eleazar in the plains of Moses. And Moses, Eleazar, and all the princes of the congregation went forth to meet them with joy. And they divided all the spoils of Midian, and the children of Israel had been revenged upon Midian for the cause of their brethren, the children of Israel. Okay, so that was 86. Any comments? Let me read this. 87. And At that time, the Lord said to Moses, "Behold, thy days are approaching to an end. Take now Joshua." Here we go. He says he's going to bring a son. I read that. They said it was JC, but we're going to see it's Joshua. He says he's going to raise up a prophet likened unto Moses, right? So it says at that time, the Lord said to Moses, "Behold, thy days are approaching to an end." So Moses getting coming to an end. Take now Joshua. This the man he's talking about, likened unto Moses. Take now Joshua, son of Nun, thy servant. Place him in the tabernacle, and I will command him. And Moses did so. And the Lord appeared in the tabernacle in a pillar of a cloud, and a pillar of a cloud stood at the entrance of the tabernacle. And the Lord commanded Joshua. He go to the man he raising up like Joshua, like unto Moses. And the Lord commanded Joshua, son of Nun, and said unto him, "Be strong and courageous, for thou shalt bring the children of Israel to the land which I swore to give them, and I will be with thee." And Moses said to Joshua, "Be strong and courageous, for thou wilt make the children of Israel inherit the land." Yeah. Make the children of Israel inherit the land, and the Lord will be with thee, and he will leave thee, he will not leave thee, nor forsake thee. Be not afraid, nor disheartened. And Moses called all the children of Israel and said to them, "You have seen all the good which the Lord God has done for you in the wilderness. Now therefore observe all the words of the law, and walk in the way of the Lord your God. Turn not from the way which the Lord hath commanded you, either to be to the right or to the left." And Moses taught the children of Israel statutes and judgments and laws to do in the land as the Lord had commanded him. And he taught them the way of the Lord, his laws. And behold, they are written upon the book of the law of God, which he gave to the children of Israel by the hands of Moses. And Moses finished commanding the children of Israel. And the Lord said to him, saying, "Go up to Mount Abiram and die there." And he gathered unto thy people as Abraham thy brother was gathered. And Moses went up as the Lord had commanded him, and he died there in the land of Moab by the order of the Lord in the 40th year, from the Israelites going forth from the land of Egypt. And the children of Israel wept for Moses in the plains of Moab for 30 days, and the days of weeping and mourning for Moses was completed. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. So, anybody got any comments on that? Anything they heard or read? Comments? Okay. Yeah, I thought that was something to be need to be revisited. So we see right here, there's nothing new under the sun. As a matter of fact, I wanted to say too. Notice that Og and Zion, the cities that they took are Amorite cities, and that's what they possessed those cities. You had 2.5 tribes. Their land that they was received was on this side of Jordan, and then the other tribe went on the other side. So that also fulfilling Genesis chapter 15, the 400 years, the Amorites, the time of the Amorites. So those cities from the Og and Bashan were Amorite cities. That's fulfilling the prophecy in Genesis.
Right. Well, what was that? That was Reuben and half tribe Manasseh that took over those that side, right?
2.5 tribes. I think it was.
Yeah, it was Reuben, and and I know one is the half tribe of Manasseh, so half of Manasseh stayed on that side.
Exactly, right. The Amorites, they stayed in the land. Amorites, they possessed their land, the city. Is that something?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I was getting ready to find in Genesis that what you was just reading right now. So in Genesis, what it reads is in chapter 87, where it says, "And the Lord appeared," what's that verse? Verse 2, it says, "And the Lord appeared in the tabernacle in a pillar of a cloud, and the pillar of the cloud stood at the entrance of the tabernacle, and the Lord commanded Joshua." So in the KJV, it says something interesting. That's what I always go back to what you were saying when he's gonna raise up a prophet like unto Moses, was that Moses left, but the Lord of hosts said, leave Joshua here. So,
Right.
what I'm saying, anybody who got any wisdom is going to ask, like, why would Joshua be in this tabernacle pillar of a cloud and Moses ain't there? You know what I'm saying? So that's something that, a lot of people ain't asking that question for them to understand who this prophet actually is. So how could Moses walk out of that tabernacle and Joshua stay?
Right. Exactly. Then he told him, go get Joshua and bring him to the tabernacle. So that's
Right.
yeah. There it
Right.
is, right? Yeah.
He told him. He said,
Right.
leave Joshua here. Leave Joshua here. And
Right.
you go.
He ain't tell me to go get Jesus.
Nah, he ain't say nothing like that. Never. Couldn't have been, but he said leave Joshua here. So these are so the new Bibles and the people who are breaking it down, these are things that they're gonna leave out. It's not gonna be relevant for the indoctrination that they've been trying to put on us. And
Right.
where were we at earlier? Was earlier you was bringing something out, and what you brought out was crazy.
The arm of the Lord.
Oh, see now that's something I call that esoteric. So that's
Okay.
why a lot of us ain't understanding that. The arm of the Lord whole thing, that's an esoteric understanding, number one, because people ain't understanding that. In order for them to understand what the arm of the Lord means, it would have to deal with the fact that God looks at Israel as one. And then if you're just one person, so you have an arm, you got two of them, right? So he's never looking at us on an individual level. He's always looking at us as a whole. So if you're a whole man, this is where these people get this whole arm, leg, arm, head. That's the uh Muslim perspective of it. But the arm of the Lord, well, that's the arm of Israel that he's using.
Right.
So there goes the arm. So the whole 12 tribes, out of it, you have an arm. If a day with the Lord is 1,000 years, then that's for us. But for him, we still just one person. So, and that's his arm that he's using to deal with everything. That's the strength. So if you really, that's why I call it esoteric. If you're paying attention, we all have a dominant arm. We got two of them, but one of them is dominant. Very rarely you come across ambidextrous people, but even at that time, one of those arms is still the dominant one. So
Right.
that's what that really means. That the Levitical priesthood is his dominant arm dealing with self or the world. So, but what I was looking
Right.
for was, go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Well, talk about the arm. Like a prime example of that is the 48. Genesis 48. It says when he blessed those sons, starting at verse 12. Joseph brought them between, go back to 11, says, uh, and Israel said unto Joseph, I had not thought to see thy face, so lo, God hath showed me also thy seed. So Joseph brought them out from between his knees and bowed him and and he bowed himself with his face to the earth. And Joseph uh, took both of them, Ephraim in his right hand toward Israel's left hand, and Manasseh his left hand toward Israel's right hand, and brought them near unto him. So right hand is where the power is. That's why. So let's go back to the arm. It says, and Israel stretched out his right hand and laid it upon Ephraim's head, who was the young, and his left hand upon Manasseh. He guiding his hands willingly, for Manasseh was the firstborn. So the man's power is on his right arm, the firstborn. So he laid his right hand on his firstborn son. But because he told them that Manasseh, that Ephraim was going to be more powerful than Manasseh. So he already showed it to Joseph, to Jacob in a dream. So Jacob, Joseph understanding the order that Manasseh, he supposed to lay his right hand on Manasseh, but he gave Joseph a dream. He gave Jacob a dream to lay his right hand on the youngest. So we go back to 13. Joseph took them both, Ephraim in his right hand, so that toward Israel's left hand, because he's the youngest, and Manasseh in his left hand toward Joseph's right hand. He taking the firstborn toward the right hand, and brought them near to him. And Israel stretched out his right hand, right? So he taking his right hand and laid it upon Ephraim. That's the youngest. So then Joseph looking crazy. So he says, and they laid it upon Ephraim's head, who was the younger, and his left hand upon Manasseh's head, guiding his hand wittingly, for Manasseh was the firstborn. And he blessed Joseph, and he said, God, before whom my fathers and my fathers Abraham and Isaac did walk, the God who fed me all the days of my life unto this day. Right? So that was an example what you're talking about right here.
Yeah. You gotta keep going though. You gotta keep the angel. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah. Right.
You know, but like that's what I'm saying. So people, we seldomly pay attention to them. Those are the what you call them nuggets. Them the nuggets.
Right.
You know, we ain't paying attention to. But what you just read in 84, 84 and 84 and 84 and 13, 30, 84, 10, 11, right? For instance, 84 and 11. And the children of Israel passed the boundaries of the children of Esau in those days at the end of the 19 years. And they came and passed the road of the wilderness of Moab. So you know, I'm gonna hold it right there for a second, and then I'll go up.
Right.
I'll go up to verse 3, same chapter, verse 3. And it says, and after this, God made the people go round by the way of the Mount Seir for a long time.
Right.
So it says for a long time, right? And then it goes, at that time the Lord said unto Moses, provoke not a war against the children of Esau, for I will not give to you of any thing belonging to them as much as the sole of the foot could tread upon, for I have given Mount Seir for an inheritance to Esau. Right? Therefore did the children of Esau fight against the children of Seir in former times.
Right.
So they was watching Esau gain this land at this time, right? Am I wrong? Is that what it reads? For an inheritance.
Yeah, but
so
they're going in a circle too. So when you see 19, they're going in a circle. So that's a 19th time that it passed that.
That's what I mean. So it's perfect. That's the point I'm making. So our captivity that we even in to this day. So that's what I'm saying. If we continue on, it says, thus did the children of Esau fight against the children of Seir in former times, and the Lord had delivered the children of Seir into the hands of the children of Esau and destroyed them from, right? But anyway, what I'm going for is, then the Lord said unto the children of Israel, fight not against the children of Esau, your brethren, for nothing in their land belongs unto you, but you may buy food of them for money and eat it, and you may buy water. So once again, this is not new under the sun. So the captivating idea was to mingle with them. So, but now when we get down to Moab, look what Moab did. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? So
Right.
peep how this has been working on us, even in this captivity. Like you say, ain't nothing new under the sun. Look at what's going on to this day. So you know what I'm saying? We fight against the excuse my language. We fight against the brothers and sisters that choose to stay separate, but say, let me give you this little bread and let me give you this money and give me a little bread. But the whole idea, you put Moab in the mix now, and then it becomes, hey, let us mix with one another because we come from. So if we look at Jacob, that's Esau's brother. So what greater mix could there have been right there between the two? So the whole idea that he made us circumvent them 19 times or for 19 years, a long time, it said, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the understanding to be met. I'm not giving you this people to deal with. Or dealing with Moab, the same thing. I'm not giving you this people to deal with, but you're going to observe them. You're going to see how they behave. You're going to watch them. It's not for you to mingle with them. It's not for you to be entertained by their women or their men, but trade with them, get what you need, and keep it moving.
Right.
Am I right or no?
Right. He said, don't take nothing belonging to them, where the women belong to them.
Facts.
Right.
Yeah. So I look. It's been a major hiccup in our part from day one since Joshua and Caleb. You know, the people not really connecting with what God has been telling us from day one.
Exactly.
So it's the same thing going on today.
Right. You want everybody but the people engaged to it.
Right.
I guess so.
Yeah.
We even see
Yeah.
that with Ezra. We see it with Ezra. So that's strange why.
Yeah. It's straight. It's right. Same thing. So you know, and that's well, Ezra's a whole different, sadder situation. That's an even sadder situation. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
It's because
Right.
y'all coming back into your own situation and look at what you still doing. But right here was where it originated at. You know?
Right. And that was 40 years. Then they did 70 years in Babylon and came out and did the same thing. That's 110 years.
Yeah, did the same thing.
Right.
But in between
Right.
time, in the meantime, they begged for a king. Let's think about it. You know what I mean? It's a whole different, like, yeah. So yeah, like these are the small little nuggets and little bits and pieces, you know, that Christianity causes you to say you ain't need to pay attention to none of that. Yeah, you ain't gotta worry about that. Focus on this over here.
Right. Stay with
Focus on
J2.
how this, yeah, focus on how he your covering. Focus on how he's your covering. Focus on how he your man. Focus on how he died for you. Focus on that.
Is that song? Okay. Anybody else got anything? Okay. Yeah, so I enjoyed the conversation. We're gonna cut it off right here. And I'll see everybody tomorrow for our reading through the Tanakh. I think it is. Yeah, reading through the Tanakh. So with that being said, I want to say shalom to everybody. Uh, see y'all tomorrow. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, everyone.
Shalom, everyone.